our youths. We try to advise them and to uh, instruct them on and to answer some questions because we've been asked a lot of questions privately. We receive a lot of questions. For those who intend to send BHF mail, you can go to BHF 2011 at gmail.com. Whatever information we send to BHF, we can be able to get to it. BHF Freedom, BHF Freedom 2011 at gmail.com. And those who want to call can also reach BHF on this number 070 5208 5237. Let me say that again 070 5208 5237. With that number, you can be able to get somebody on the line. There's always somebody to answer you right there. And so we are continuing the series that we've been on for the past 3 days. Leadership by example. And sadly enough, we seem not to be having the kind of example the youths are supposed to learn from among the leaders we have in Nigeria. And it's too sad. And like I said, we are not only talking about, one child we talk about leadership, the first thing that gets to the mind of people is the president. No. You're a governor, you're a senator, you're a member of House of Assembly, you're a husband, you're a managing director. You are the CEO of an organization. These are all organizations where you exercise some authority as a leader. And one of the ways you can be able to have effective kind of leadership is when you lead by example. And a lot of people have asked me questions regarding the Minister of FCT in Nigeria, the Minister of FCT, Wike, about the crisis, the issues that has been going on between him and Wike and Sowore, the activists. A lot of questions have been asked, a lot of questions. In BHF, we deal a lot with youths, and each time we have programs, people ask, they want to know what is happening, they want to know what position we are taking, whether we are siding or we are supporting, we are doing this. I just said, no, we are not taking side on any side. We try to look at the facts and we begin to give an honest and a candid opinion. Regarding the issue of Wike and the FCT minister, Wike has provided so much evidence. Sowore has provided so much evidence to show that Wike bought a house in Canada, in America, Florida. And so far, Wike has not been able to dispute the fact that there's a house there. But one of the things he said is he has not been to America. It's his wife. His wife is a citizen. His children are this. But the wife is a judge in Nigeria. And so the question is, how can a judge in Nigeria have $2 million to buy a house in Florida? And so some of the defense that the FCT minister was bringing up was too watery. It's not the kind of defense that can be able to hold water anywhere. We pray for more defense. And one of the things we were expecting till now, which the youths are expecting, which quite a lot of people are expecting, is that the government or the government spokesperson will be able to come up out to say something regarding this issue. And in the same environment, Wike will have stepped aside and let there be a proper investigation. Because there's so much fraud associated with this government, with people that are serving, let me use the word, people that are serving under this government. There's so much fraud. This same government where we saw a viral video of a minister doing house opening. This one has bought a house and from the evidence and information that Sowore has brought out, Wike family has not just only that house in Florida, they bought a lot of houses. So at a time like this, where the policies of the government is punishing the people are suffering, people are hungry, things are extremely expensive, one would have expected some level of prudence. People should be careful. Because it was this same FCC minister some time ago that was shown in the vehicle driving limousine. And we want to ask ourselves, is he a contractor? Where did he get the money from? Because we know he has not done anything reasonable apart from politics, involvement in politics, whether as a governor, as a minister, as chief of staff to the governor then, I don't know whether he has done any job at all apart from that. So begin to come out and drive in limousine and do this and do this, begins to make people wonder, which kind of country is this? A lot of Nigerians have learned their lesson. And the youths are grumbling, complaining. The youths are asking questions. And those who fell for the slogan of change many years ago when the Buhari government was coming in, they are beginning to regret it. That this was not the change they were expecting. There was so much insecurity, they were thinking that the late President Buhari will come and as a retired military officer, he will clear up everywhere and there will be peace in the north. But till now, there's no peace in the north. There's no peace in the north. And all these things rise and fall with leadership. I watched Donald Trump today when he was giving his speech in the United Nations. I was so happy for him. I was so happy for Americans. Because you'll be proud of him as a president. Thank God he was making this speech in the presence of leaders across the world, but he was able to stand firm and speak the truth to power. And we've seen what Donald Trump was able to do in the state of Washington. How he has restored sanity to that place. There was one time I was watching on Fox News where they said that the crime rate as at that time, they said about 2 weeks now, there is no more criminal activities in Washington. People can be able to drive easily now, go to hotels, go to restaurants with their wives, their families. They will not be scared out they will be hijacked or cruelly killed by anyone. Because he sent the National Guard to go there and restore sanity. That is leadership. Now the APC, and now this is not, we're not trying to bring the APC into scrutiny here now. We are looking about leadership. Leadership. We begin to see the effect of Trump's leadership. It's not enough to a year that Trump became president, but people can be able to see the effect of it. Gases have gone down. Price of gasoline have gone down. Price of grocery has gone down. And gradually, the economy has improved seriously. But this is 2 years in Nigeria. And if in 2 years in Nigeria, the economy has gotten worse, what is the guarantee that in 4 years it will get better? And this is just 2 years and people are shouting for another 4 years. And the question is that if Nigeria goes through this pain in 2 years, what will happen at the end of 4 years? What will happen going to the second year? To me, it's not about another 4 years. Let them finish these 4 years. Let them see the impact. Because so far, people are suffering. All those figures they are giving out, rolling out figures and talking and talking and topic. IMF said this one said this, inflation. These are figures. Control figures. These figures are not in reality with what is happening on the ground. People are suffering. As of today, I've received a lot of calls. Somebody who is an asthmatic patient is badly looking for money for drugs. For the inhaler. People are suffering. People are terribly suffering. And yet we still have politicians who are busy talking about 2024, 2027. When 2024, we have not seen the impact of the election in 2027. So far, what we have seen is complete reversal. If somebody will tell you that this government will be like this, you will not believe. Even though there were issues about rigging and the rest, there were some of us that were not so happy with the election result then. But as far as we were concerned, let the man come in. At least there will be some level of probably sanity. Because as far then we were thinking that any government at all will be better than Buhari. But now we are finding ourselves in a situation where people begin to miss the late President Buhari. People begin to wish that Buhari was still in power. Because at least when Buhari was in power, the atmosphere was okay. People, things were a little bad, but people were managing. Things was okay. But we find ourselves in the situation right now where it's just terrible. And there's no way you increase fuel from 128 naira to 1,000 naira that it will not have effects. Everybody's supposed to know that. So it's not just coming in on the day of inauguration and say this council, subsidy removal. This, even apart from that, you ask yourself, the subsidy have been removed for 2 years now. Nobody have seen the effect of the subsidy removal. Nobody have seen the effect. They removed the subsidy, things became worse, poverty increased, people are suffering. The other day I read in the paper where they said they have released 300 billion to help the poor. And I asked myself, where is the 300 billion? Who received it? Who did they give it to? Because so far, I've not seen one person that benefited from that 300 billion naira that was released. 300 billion, if you release 300 billion naira in a country where you have 21 million people, 300 billion, at least you will see something in people's pocket. Nobody have seen anything at all. Nobody. Things are getting worse. When Jonathan was there, a bag of rice was 3,700 naira. Today, it's over 80,000 naira. In fact, there was a time it was 100,000 naira. Now, instead of we to experience good governance, what we keep seeing is propaganda. Propaganda is not leadership. We are talking about leading by example. And that's why you begin to see the EFCC fighting Yahoo. Yahoo, yes, it's bad, especially now that we have this Yahoo Plus and the rest, that people are beginning to do magic and all kinds of diabolical means. But who push our youth to do Yahoo? It's bad governance. Who push our youth into drugs? It's bad leadership. I was talking to some young people some time ago who were on drugs and the rest. And the guy was telling me, he said, well, it's not as if he likes taking drug, but the state of things in Nigeria now, that is the only way he can get his sanity. Because he can't face Nigeria with this kind of mind. If not, so he will go crazy. The kind of terrible things that are taking place in terms of leadership, in terms of our politicians, is something that I cannot stand with normal brain. So your brain will not burst. And I said, but when you are taking drugs, you are destroying yourself. It's not the people that are taking it. So the people want good governance. So we must lead by example. Because whatever we are doing, the youths are following. How can you stop Yahoo when we begin to hear of governors, politicians buying houses abroad? The other day we saw somebody from Canada on social media was saying that one of the ministers had bought 3 houses already, 6 months into his appointment as a minister in Nigeria. The minister has bought 3 houses in Canada already. That's the kind of things you see. And we want good leadership. Because I know most of our leaders are taking the youth for granted. Most of the leaders have concluded that the youths are fools. The Nigerians are useless. People are this, but this. But the truth is that what we took, and what our parents took, and what we took, our children will not be able to take it. And I pray that we begin to resume good leadership before Nigeria gets out of hand. Because people are pushed to the extent right now where they tell themselves it is better to insist on your rights and die than to die as a coward. What we need is good leadership. And this, you see, when we begin to get all these things right, everything will come to place. When we have good leadership, everything will come to place. There are some actions, there are some decisions that will not be able to take anymore. Because you see, this is the kind of leader you have. These are not people that tolerate nonsense. For example, there was a time where the former humanitarian minister under the late president then, we heard of how billions and billions and billions were taken to help the poor. And then I'm talking about leadership by example, because these are the things that the youth sees. Most times it's not what you say that the youth follow, it's what you do. What you do. And the youth are seeing what the politicians are doing and doing. They are seeing what the people are doing. And these things that they are doing are the things that the youth will perfect to do worse. We have terrible leadership. And that's why we keep having this kind of followers. But except something is done on time to get our leadership right, it will get to a stage that even the rich will not be able to live in this country anymore. Because some of us, we are Nigerians. Our families are Nigerians. We don't have dual citizenship. So if anything happened in Nigeria now, we don't have anywhere to go because this is our land. So for those who are staying and buying houses outside this country, it's because they don't have confidence in Nigeria. You will never see an American politician come to buy a house in Nigeria. To do what? You can't see an American politician buying a house in Nigeria. You can't. You can't see an American politician come to receive medical treatment in Nigeria. You will never see it. And just like what Trump said, stay and fix your country. Who are mostly the people that are jackpotting? They are the youths. That's why when Trump was speaking today in the United Nations National Assembly, when he was giving his press conference, he has shut the door against migrants. And he was telling those in Europe and the rest to shut their door against migrants, that everybody should stay in their country and develop their country. And I don't blame him. Because we have enough resources in Nigeria to fix this country. I wish what Trump said today, Trump can go to the extra mile to say, stay in your country to receive medical treatment. Who are those that run every small thing they run out of this country for medical treatment? Are the politicians, not even businessmen, the politicians. Where they use the resources that belongs to the people, the commonwealth of the people, they embezzle it and use it to have fun around the world. So, the other day I watch a politician on Arise Television when he was talking about, say there's no suffering, there's no hunger in Nigeria. And I just, when he was talking, I just pitied him because probably he's not staying in Nigeria. We have to fix this country. And I'm saying this now in case even the president is not hearing, at least there must be somebody that is also close to the president that might hear. What we want in Nigeria is good leadership. It's not long prayer we need in Nigeria, it's good leadership. There is no country in the world that is as blessed as Nigeria. So when you begin to say, let us pray for Nigeria, let's do it for Nigeria, you begin to ask yourself, what do you want God to do? Because the mineral resources we have in Nigeria, no other country in the world has the kind of mineral resources we have in Nigeria. Nigeria is blessed with oil. Nigeria is blessed with gold. Nigeria is blessed with various kinds of resources. What we need is effective leadership. And it's so sad that even those that we think will end up becoming the saviors in Nigeria, when they get themselves elected to government houses, they become worse. People worse than the military. People can't even express themselves again. No free speech. Trump was talking about free speech today, but I don't even know why there's free speech in Nigeria. Because what they do is that the DSS is just arresting people for bearing out their mind. You are beating someone and you say, no, you shouldn't cry. How do you beat somebody and you tell him not to cry? Let's lead by example. Nigeria is too blessed to be poor. Nigeria is blessed by Almighty God with all kinds of resources. In fact, other nations are supposed to be envious of Nigeria. Other nations are supposed to be envious of Nigeria. But you look as if God has special interest in Nigeria. All kind of mineral resources, you have them here. And if we don't fix Nigeria by getting the right kind of leadership, then the young ones, the youths, will continue from. Have you ever been where the youths are talking? You will see that they are even determined to do worse than this kind of leaders we have today. They tell you they are waiting for their turn. Once they get into power, they will do this, they will do this. It's all about how to steal them all. So Nigeria is desperately looking for a leader that will change the tides. The America and Europe we are running to today was changed by Americans, was changed by their fathers, their founding fathers. They changed America, they changed Europe, and they made it a destination where people are running to. So people are giving their life to. Today I watch how the boat capsized in the Mediterranean Sea. A lot of Africans were struggling to see how they can be able to get to Spain by boat, and the boat capsized. These are products of bad leadership in Africa. And I ask myself, does the devil reside in Africa? We keep having bad leaders. Look at what is happening right now between even Natasha and Fabio. These are not the issues that Nigerians are expecting. Nigerians are expecting good legislation that will make Nigeria a better place. But we are not seeing it. When they are not fighting among themselves, you begin to hear them shouting on your mandate to start. Which mandate are we talking about? The mandate of suffering and hunger that people are going through? Because you are sitting in government houses and you are taking over 30 million every month. Free house, free everything, free. Why won't you say your mandate will stand when everything you are receiving is free? With over 30 million and other allowances. Nigeria is yearning now for good leadership. And we can't get good leadership except we have a good election. As I begin to round up, it's a 10 minutes program, as I begin to round up, the biggest crisis we have today, the biggest problem we have in Nigeria today is INEC, the judiciary, and the police. If we can able to fix INEC, fix the judiciary, fix the police, then we can be able to have a free and fair election. Until we do that, we will never get good leaders. The leaders will continue to loot because they know that they are free. No matter what they do, they can still buy their way to government houses. Nigerians deserve to be free. I told you, I received calls today. People calling to talk about drugs on asthma drugs. The asthma patients. The healthcare is zero. Everything is zero. If you want to move from Benin to Warri, very difficult. But somebody is trying to build a coastal road. These are the kind of leaders we have. Leaders are not interested in Nigeria. You are trying to build a coastal road where the road within the town, you cannot pass it. Where are we passing the coastal road to? You're in Lagos, you want to get to Delta, you begin to get worried because the roads are bad. Extremely bad. But you are spending trillions of naira because that's where you can loot money from. Those projects are set up because they want to loot, not because they want to help the people. Until we meet again tomorrow, this is another episode of BHF Foundation, Time Out with Elo David, and today we are looking at leadership by example. Because the youth will always follow what you say, not just what you do. Please hook up to BHF Foundation on YouTube, subscribe to this YouTube channel, share, tell others about it, give advice to the youth on a regular basis, and also comment on this program. Until we meet again tomorrow, which is the last one for the week, always remember, you can always have the kind of leaders. Until we have the kind of leaders, Nigeria will not change. And so we must insist on good leadership. We are still far from good leadership. The poverty and the suffering in Nigeria is much today because they don't care. Instead, what you keep hearing is somebody buying a house in Florida. But except something is done on time, I foresee a situation where one day the youth also will demand for their rights. Have a good day.